rhythmic things. If you've ever tried to play Roxanne and sing, or any of the Police songs and sing, it is incredibly hard to do. Okay, I have a couple super chats I want to answer. SS99 Rock, Rick, love the video. You become my favorite show. Keep it up. You're changing today's music into something better. Kids are listening. I hope your kids are listening. My kids aren't listening. It's like, maybe they're listening now. That's awesome. Dan, thank you so much, and Jan, thank you so much, or is it Jan? So this is the direction that I've wanted to grow the channel, is to interview these musical icons, the people that I idolize, and that I feel, a lot of journalists, they don't have the expertise to ask the kind of questions that a musician would know to ask, especially a musician that's familiar with these people's catalog. When I'm talking to Sting, and I think, okay, well, the first record came out in 1978, then 79, then 80, then 81, then 83. That's the Police's career, and I know what the records are. I know what songs are on each record. I know how to play them. I know all the solo records, and I think that's a good jumping off point. If you don't know those things, are you really prepared, other than talking about, in generalities about things? Because it's difficult to prepare for an interview. I don't want to sit there with cards or a notebook or my iPad or anything and ask questions. I have ideas of what I want to talk about, but I want the conversation to have a flow like an improvisation. So you kind of have to be ready to jump to anything. And if Sting doesn't want to talk about flat sixes, then we don't have to talk about flat sixes. I can talk about music in any different way. Because in order to teach music, you have to be able to explain things in different ways to different people. So I've reached out to other people, and I've had other people reach out to me about other interviews, and I don't want to really talk about them until they happen, because I never, you don't want to jinx these things. But I've got some really exciting things coming up too. But like I said, I have to fund all this stuff myself and pay for these crews. I can't afford to do it here. I film all this stuff myself with Billy, but I can't go to New York City and set up lights and 3 cameras and do that. I mean, you can't. Nobody can do that. Nobody can set up the things themselves. It's and I shouldn't do that. It's very hard to light yourself, especially when you have white hair like myself. I always find that every time I'm just like.
Quels sont les métiers les mieux payés sur Terre? Médecin, avocat ou encore chimiste? Ces personnes touchent en moyenne un salaire de 7 000 € par mois. Ils ont un grand diplôme, un bac plus 5 minimum, et ils ont une carrière déjà avancée avec 10 ans d'expérience. Mais alors, pourquoi je touche autant qu'eux alors que j'ai rien de tout ça? Pas de diplôme, pas d'expérience et je suis jeune. En fait, il y a une seule raison pour laquelle tu peux te payer cher aujourd'hui. Résoudre des problèmes. Le médecin aide ses patients, l'avocat aide ses clients, et le chimiste trouve des remèdes pour aider les gens. Et moi, je fais quoi pour gagner autant qu'eux? J'écris des emails. Je sais, tu ne me crois pas, alors voici des preuves. 550 € pour rédiger 5 emails, 650 € pour rédiger 3 emails, ou 650 € pour 2 heures de travail. Ces emails me prennent 3-4 heures à rédiger. Si tu es salarié, tu toucheras pour cela 8,11 x 4, soit 32,44 € le SMIC. Pendant que mon collègue et moi, on prend plusieurs milliers d'euros par mois. Plus de 10 000 € par mois pour mon collègue et 7 000 € pour moi. Tu l'as compris, avec cette méthode, il me suffit de bosser environ 5 heures par semaine pour gagner l'équivalent d'un salaire. D'ailleurs, on t'explique gratuitement notre méthode. Il te suffit de cliquer sur cette vidéo pour l'obtenir. Mais là, tu te demandes d'où ça sort, comment c'est possible, et je suis sûr que tu penses à une arnaque. Sache que ça n'a rien à voir avec tout ce qu'on voit sur Internet. Des méthodes magiques comme le don.
Man, I look so washed out, especially next to Sting. Sting with tan, and I look like a ghost. Anyhow, so I'll just say my discount code again. I don't put ads in my videos. But I'll advertise my own things that I sell instead of advertising other people's things, right? Things that I believe in, things that will help you as a musician. My Beato book, 65% off, RB 900, my ear training program, which has video and it tracks your progress and takes you through everything you need to know to learn how to figure out songs by ear and way more. How to get through college ear training, or how to become, just an expert using your relative pitch. That's what the ear training course does. And my Beato guitar course, my Quick Lessons Pro guitar course, those are both 45% off with the discount code RB900. You can get them on my website, rickbeato.com. There's my commercial for the things that I built in order to help you guys improve as musicians, because that's ultimately what the goal has been here since the beginning of the channel, is to put up content for free on YouTube. And this is a really interesting point here. People have said, Rick, why don't you have a Netflix show or an HBO show or something? It's like, well, first of all, I don't want to have anyone telling me what questions I ask, who I can interview, how the edit's going to go, what it looks like. I want to edit it myself. I want to ask the questions myself, and I want to interview the people I want to interview. And I don't want somebody to have to pay the money to Netflix each month or HBO to be able to watch my channel. The beauty of putting this on YouTube is that it's free to anyone to watch. And not only that, YouTube will find anyone that has watched a Brian May video, a Sting video, a Joni Mitchell video, a Seal video, a Pat Metheny video. My Pat Metheny video has 1 million views now for a jazz guitar player. 1 million views. It's unbelievable. They found every Pat Metheny fan in the world, pretty much. Not everyone, but that's the beauty of YouTube. The algorithm goes out there and finds people, and it's free. And that's really what the whole idea of the channel was, is to create something for people to learn from, and hopefully improve their musical skills through whatever I can, from any of the things that I've learned in my life that I can convey to you guys. That's really the whole mission statement of the channel, is that. And I think, in 2021, my goal was to do more jazz videos, interview people that I think are really important, like Ron Carter, that have historical information, or Sting, or Pat Metheny. These people have been around a long time. Joni Mitchell, they have historical information that is important to future generations. And if I can ask them about it, I try to ask questions that I've never seen asked before, or things I'm curious about. Whether it's, Ron, how do they mic the bass on your sessions with Miles Davis, or when you played on Speak No Evil with Wayne Shorter, or you played on Maiden Voyage with Herbie Hancock? Did you guys rehearse before? Did you rehearse for Miles sessions? And he told me that he went over to Rudy Van Gelder's studio in New Jersey with his 2 sons on Saturdays, and they would try out new microphones. It's like, wow, that is amazing. Who knew that? How far was the mic from the bass? These are the things I want to know, because I want to know what it was like to be in the room. Since there was nobody in the room on those Miles sessions, the people that are living, Herbie Hancock, Wayne Shorter, and Ron Carter are still living. Nobody from Miles' 50s, from the 50s quintet, has survived. Jimmy Cobb was the last person that passed away, which was in 2019. I did a video on Jimmy Cobb that not many people watched, but I did it because Jimmy Cobb needed to have a video. I did a video on Pat Martino, who passed away recently, because Pat Martino was a massive influence on me. And I know a lot of people don't know Pat Martino. He's a phenomenal, one of the most gifted jazz guitarists of all time. then he needed the respect of having a video done and people in his legacy talked about. So these things are, you know, for me, they're just things that I want to do, and I want people to experience them. You know, anyone can experience current artists, right? You're bombarded with them through video, through, you know, my kids listening to stuff, whatever. Any place you go, anytime you go anywhere, anything, you're always being bombarded by all the latest artists. The new Adele record's out, and you can hear about it everywhere. She's on Oprah, she's on this, she's on that, right? But these other people, they don't have necessarily as big of a platform to talk to people. And because of you guys, my platform is a good-sized platform, and it's a place that people come and musicians come to hang out, and you know, it's people like Sting watch my channel, or Joni Mitchell, or whoever. I mean, that's how I got to meet these people. I mean, there's no, how can I reach out to them? I don't know how to reach out to them. So this is, you know, this is where I want to take the channel in the future. I want to interview Brian May in person. That would involve going to England. I don't know when that would happen, but you know, I'd have to find a camera crew over there and everything. And this is when you support the channel, these are the things that you support. Through donations, there's a donation link that's in the description here. You can find it on the website, it's right at the very bottom. If you're not a musician and you want to just support the channel, or people are doing it through Super Chat, thank you everybody on here. And
до тех пор делайте это по-старому. 60 секунд, которые ты не забудешь никогда. Начинаем. Ваша задача просто смотреть на картинки и повторять за мной слов.
This is, you know, where I want to take the channel in the future is to do more things like this, right? Is to interview these legends. So I'm hoping that this is going to continue, and I'm hoping that it becomes easier to make videos on using music of the Beatles, of AC/DC, of Guns N' Roses, and all the other blocking bands, of the Eagles, of Fleetwood Mac. I hope that this comes easy. I want to interview Don Henley, honestly. I love Don Henley. I love the Eagles. And I want to ask him about this. Why do you block all these videos, Don? Tell me about this. Let's talk about it, you know? I mean, I really don't want to talk about that. I'll talk about it in private. I want to ask him about his music. And that's ultimately what this is about. It's not about gossip or anything like that. I want to talk about the creative process with these amazing artists that I have incredible respect for. Why these particular choices in lyrics, why the choices in melodies. I asked Sting about his bass part and if I could ever lose my faith. Why did he do that only on the first phrase? And Dominic says, I didn't notice that. I think he said that. He does it on the first phrase only each verse. And it's completely intentional because he does it in the first verse and second verse, but he doesn't do it on the other two phrases before it goes to the chorus. It's amazing. And it's a hook. And every time I listen to it, I just wait for that. And it just grabs me. It gets the same every time, even though that song came out in, 1993. So, and I remembered when I asked Sting, I talked to him about the flagships, and you need to have a flagship. I remember being in a studio in Ithaca, New York, Pyramid Sound, when I saw on MTV Sting was being interviewed before that record came out. And that was, and he said that. I can picture it. Him talking about flagships. That's the exact thing they used. Anyways, I'm going to do another ad here. This is my ad read for my channel. If you want to support the channel and become better musicians, my ear training course, 45% off. Discount code RB900. My Quick Lessons Pro, same thing, 45% off. RB900. And my Beato book, music theory textbook, is 65% off. These are the lowest prices that I've done. This is how I support my channel. This is how I pay for Billy to be here. And this is how I'm able to make videos without somebody telling me that I have to do an ad read 30 seconds in for this long, and have to review my scripts. They literally do that. You have to have your ads reviewed by people. I'm not going to have ads reviewed by people. I'm not going to have somebody tell me how to edit my video, right? I want to edit it myself. Sting's publicist said, when are you going to put out the video? We did it on Tuesday. I said, oh, it'll come out on Thursday. She's like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm going to go fly home tomorrow and edit it and put it out on Thursday. She said, okay. Wow, that's amazing. And why can I do that? Because I don't work for a company because I'm not on Netflix or anything, right? And you don't have to pay the fee. If you don't want to see ads, you have to pay whatever it is, $12 a month for YouTube. And I would suggest that. Or get an ad blocker. Although somebody told me ad blockers don't work anymore. I don't know if that's true or not. I pay the $12 a month on YouTube so I don't see ads because I get annoyed by them. Jonathan says, what about interviewing Jimmy Page? Well, that's a possibility. I'm trying to make these things happen. All the people that I see in things, Stevie Wonder, I'm trying to make all these things happen. I don't have a manager. I don't have anything like that. I don't have anyone. I have to do the stuff myself in addition to making the videos, in addition to having a family and 3 kids and everything. So your support is more than welcome. And go to my store and invest something in yourself, right? Donate to my channel. Become a member of the Beato Club. That's like Patreon. Like I said, though, if you're not a musician, you want to just donate to the channel, you can donate. There's a donate link in the description or at the bottom of my website over at Beato.com. But I suggest take my ear training course. It's not there's no yearly charge or anything. It's just a one-time purchase, and that's it. And it's 45% off right now. RB900. You want to get a better ear to know what notes Sting is singing over the chords, know what the chord progression is on I Burn For You or Fortress Around Your Heart. How do I figure this stuff out? From knowing about intervals. That's it, right? And then you develop your vocabulary of recognized sounds. Oh, that's a sus4 chord he's playing there. Oh, that's a power chord. Oh, that's a major 9 chord, with no third. Those are the voicings. Sting said I came up with 3 great voicings, and he did. He came up with 3 great voicings, and he put those 3 great voicings. Yet I see this isn't a green screen here. Those 3 great voicings are all over a G minor, right? He's doing that. That's the first voicing, second voicing, third voicing. So there you go. I mean, that's it. That's the deal with this. Anyways, you guys are the best. I have another special surprise coming up this week, video surprise. So stick close. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you just always come here, subscribe. It actually helps. It helps push the channel out to more people. It helps the numbers here on for people to come to the live streams and things like that too. So and comment on the videos and like them too. That's a big thing. Like this video as well. But I could use the financial support on this to do this because I can't do these things. I mean, this thing is was to go to New York City and rent a studio and get a film crew is it was unbelievable. But I'll do as much as I can do. So you guys are the best. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend. And go to rickbeato.com. Thanks. See you guys later.
This video was sponsored by Caseta by Lutron.
Imagine you have a giant circuit consisting of a battery, a switch, a light bulb, and two wires which are each 300,000 kilometers long. That is the distance light travels in 1 second. So they would reach out halfway to the moon and then come back to be connected to the light bulb, which is 1 meter away. Now the question is, after I close this switch, how long would it take for the bulb to light up? Is it half a second, 1 second, 2 seconds, 1/c seconds, or none of the above? Now you have to make some simplifying assumptions about this circuit, like the wires have to have no resistance, otherwise this wouldn't work, and the light bulb has to turn on immediately when current passes through it. But I want you to commit to an answer and put it down in the comments so you can't say, oh yeah, I knew that was the answer when I tell you the answer later on. But I want you to work and that is the two wires which are each 300,000 kilometers long. That is the distance light travels in 1 second. So they would reach out halfway to the moon and then come back to be connected to the light bulb, which is 1 meter away. Now the question is, after I close this switch, how long would it take for the bulb to light up? Is it half a second, 1 second, 2 seconds, 1/c seconds, or none of the above? Now you have to make some simplifying assumptions about this circuit, like the wires have to have no resistance, otherwise this wouldn't work, and the light bulb has to turn on immediately when current passes through it. But I want you to commit to an answer and put it down in the comments so you can't say, oh yeah, I knew that was the answer when I tell you the answer later on. This question actually relates to how electrical energy gets from a power plant to your home. You know, unlike a battery, the electricity in the grid comes in the form of alternating current, or AC, which means electrons in the power lines are just wiggling back and forth. They never actually go anywhere. So if the charges don't come from the power plant to your home, how does the electrical energy actually reach you? When I used to teach this subject, I would say that power lines are like this flexible plastic tubing, and the electrons inside are like this chain. So what a power station does is it pushes and pulls the electrons back and forth 60 times a second. Now at your house, you can plug in a device like a toaster, which essentially means allowing the electrons to run through it. So when the power station pushes and pulls the electrons, well, they encounter resistance in the toaster element, and they dissipate their energy as heat, and so you can toast your bread. Now this is a great story. I think it's easy to visualize, and I think my students understood it. The only problem is, it's wrong. For one thing, there is no continuous conducting wire that runs all the way from a power station to your house. No, there are physical gaps. There are breaks in the line, like in transformers, where one coil of wire is wrapped on one side, a different coil of wire is wrapped on the other side, so electrons cannot possibly flow from one to the other. Plus, I mean, if it's the electrons that are carrying the energy from the power station to your device, then when those same electrons flow back to the power station, why are they not also carrying energy back from your house to the power station? I mean, if the flow of current is two ways, then why does energy only flow in one direction? These are the lies you were taught about electricity. That electrons themselves have potential energy, that they are pushed or pulled through a continuous conducting loop, and that they dissipate their energy in the device. My claim in this video is that all of that is false. So how does it actually work? In the 1860s and 70s, there was a huge breakthrough in our understanding of the universe when Scottish physicist James Clerk Maxwell realized that light is made up of oscillating electric and magnetic fields. The fields are oscillating perpendicular to each other, and they are in phase, meaning when one is at its maximum, so is the other wave. Now he works out the equations that govern the behavior of electric and magnetic fields, and hence these waves. Those are now called Maxwell's equations. But in 1883, one of Maxwell's former students, John Henry Poynting, is thinking about conservation of energy. Now, if energy is conserved locally in every tiny bit of space, well, then you should be able to trace the path that energy flows from one place to another. So think about the energy that comes to us from the sun. I mean, during those 8 minutes when the light is traveling, the energy is stored and being transmitted in the electric and magnetic fields of the light. Now, pointing works out an equation to describe energy flux. That is, how much electromagnetic energy is passing through an area per second. This is known as the pointing vector, and it's given the symbol S. And the formula is really pretty simple. It's just a constant, 1 over mu naught, which is the permeability of free space, times E cross B. Now, E cross B is the cross product of the electric and magnetic fields. Now, the cross product is just a particular way of multiplying two vectors together, where you multiply their perpendicular magnitudes, and to find the direction, you put your fingers in the direction of the first vector, which in this case is the electric field, and curl them in the direction of the second vector, the magnetic field. Then your thumb points in the direction of the resulting vector, the energy flux. So what this shows us about light is that the energy is flowing perpendicular to both the electric and the magnetic fields. And it's in the same direction as the light is traveling. So this makes a lot of sense. Light carries energy from its source out to its destination. But the kicker is this. Pointing's equation doesn't just work for light. It works anytime there are electric and magnetic fields coinciding. Anytime you have electric and magnetic fields together, there is a flow of energy, and you can calculate it using Poynting's vector.
To illustrate this, let's consider a simple circuit with a battery and a light bulb. The battery by itself has an electric field, but since no charges are moving, there is no magnetic field, so the battery doesn't lose energy. When the battery is connected into the circuit, its electric field extends through the circuit at the speed of light. This electric field pushes electrons around so they